Brian Burnell, and Jeff Fox with weather.
Two big stories tonight. A deadly discovery is made. A missing woman found dead in a New Haven park. And it's Monica's moment occurring before the Kenneth Starr grand jury in Washington. Good evening. Ann is off tonight. Over the past few months, former White House intern Monica Lewinsky has become a household name across America. Today, she made her first appearance before the federal grand jury looking into the relationship with her and the president. Lewinsky arrived at the federal courthouse in Washington this morning, where she was whisked into a side entrance to avoid the crowd of reporters. During a lunch break, one of Lewinsky's attorneys told reporters she's doing just fine. Lewinsky was granted blanket immunity from Special Prosecutor Kenneth Starr in return for her testimony. We're going to go to Washington now. Lauren Rogers is standing by outside the courthouse. Lauren?
Washington has been talking about nothing else today. 28 weeks after we first heard the name Monica Lewinsky, the woman at the center of the Starr investigation has finally appeared here at the U.S. District Courthouse. But down the street at the White House, it was almost as if the whole thing wasn't happening. Monica Lewinsky arrived at the courthouse in the glare of television cameras, beaming her image around the world. But at the same time she was making her debut appearance before the grand jury, President Clinton was proceeding with business as usual, hosting a Rose Garden ceremony flanked by law enforcement officers, with patriotic music from the Marine Band making it impossible for reporters to ask questions. Later in the day, Mr. Clinton addressed a Native American group and once again avoided responding to questions being shouted by an anxious press corps. In fact, the only person at the White House willing to address the continuing investigation, a deputy press secretary, who tried to put the best possible face on the former intern's appearance before the grand jury.
If this means that we're coming to the end of this 4-year, over $40 million investigation, then that would be a good thing. Back
at the courthouse, it was anything but business as usual. Although many news organizations have been camping out here for months, today there were dozens more descending, making it difficult for anyone associated with the proceedings to come and go. At one point, Lewinsky's attorney, Jacob Stein, had to fight through a pack of photographers just to hail a cab. As for how long Monica Lewinsky could be testifying before the grand jury, there are a couple of scenarios being discussed. Those close to the attorneys involved seem to believe she could be done in a day or maybe two. But there is also talk she could return after the president gives his testimony August 17th. Live at the U.S. District Courthouse in Washington, I'm Lauren Rogers. Now back to you.
All right, thank you, Lauren. Back here in Connecticut, it was a discovery that police did not want to make. After 24 hours of searching, police found the body of a missing West Haven woman in East Rock Park. They'd been combing the area for Denise Simmons ever since her car was found near there yesterday. News Channel 8's Wendy Cicchetti is at the park with more. Wendy?
Brian, the body was found just a couple of hundred feet from here. Although they are still awaiting autopsy results, investigators are pretty confident that the body found was that of Denise Simmons. She was last seen at the summit of East Rock on Monday night. So far, investigators believe her death was nothing but a horrible accident.
There's a pocket over there and a pocket here that we should probably still check.
The search for Denise Simmons resumed early this morning. A tip from a jogger eventually led to the discovery of what is believed to be her body. A jogger told police he saw the 26-year-old sitting on this ledge Monday evening.
He was able to pinpoint exactly where he had seen her. From then, we followed the path down from the top of the rock. Approximately 100 yards up from Farnham Drive, we've discovered a body.
Investigators have not positively identified the body, but say they have a strong suspicion it's Simmons. Family members remained in seclusion as they got word. The Yale research assistant was off to graduate school in California. She was supposed to leave for Berkeley yesterday.
As of right now, there is no evidence of foul play. As I say, it could be an accident, but again, pending further investigation.
Now, even after they located the body, investigators spent several hours here scaling the rocks that you see now, searching for additional clues in hopes of bringing this case to a close. Brian?
All right, thank you, Wendy. Tragic accident. One person is dead after a 3-car accident on the Meritt Parkway this afternoon. It happened on the northbound side near exit 52 in Stratford. One of the cars rolled over and caught on fire. 2 people also hospitalized as a result of that. No word on names of the victims or what caused the accident. A second boater killed in a crash on Long Island Sound has been identified. The medical examiner says 25-year-old Michael Green of East Lyme hit his head and drowned when the boat he was in hit a jetty at the mouth of the Connecticut River on Saturday night. Another man died. 3 other people were hurt in that accident. An Ohio woman who is accused of faking her way into Yale University is now also charged with attacking 2 Connecticut prison guards. 23-year-old Tanika Jenkins was sent to the York Correctional Facility in Niantic because she didn't show up for a court date on the Yale charges last month. Prison officials say she was being escorted to the showers yesterday when she attacked the guards. The guards weren't hurt seriously. Jenkins now has 2 counts of assault charged against her, in addition to the Yale charges. Attorney General Janet Reno will be cited for contempt by the House Committee on Campaign Fundraising investigation. The House Government Reform and Oversight Committee cited Reno for refusing to hand over a report suggesting she seek an independent counsel to investigate fundraising abuses.
But to ask for a document I am reviewing while I have still not made a decision is a form of political tampering that no prosecutor in America can accept.
While Republicans have the necessary committee votes for a contempt citation, the full House won't vote on this prior to the congressional recess in August. The UN Security Council says Iraq's decision not to cooperate with weapons inspectors is totally unacceptable. The council is demanding that Iraq resume talking with inspectors. U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Bill Richardson, accused Iraq of playing games in what is a very serious situation.
We think Iraq is defiant. It's wrong. They're going to have to reverse themselves once again to allow full unconditional access to all sites, to cooperate on the disarmament issues. We stand behind Ambassador Butler and UNSCOM and his efforts.
Richardson says in time, Iraq will reverse its decision and allow full unconditional access to all suspected weapons sites. We will have much more on the situation with Iraq coming up on News Channel 8 at 5:30. Japanese leaders are using the 53rd anniversary of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima to encourage other countries to stop nuclear testing. Prime Minister Keizo Obuchi asked India and Pakistan to stop their weapons testing programs. Ambassadors from both countries attended the service just months after declaring themselves nuclear powers. The U.S. first dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima, killing 100,000 people and bringing World War II to an end. A former Green Beret sergeant has filed a $100 million defamation lawsuit against CNN, reporter Peter Arnett, and Time magazine over the Tailwind report. 48-year-old Keith Plancic says he and other members of his unit were defamed by the report, which said they used nerve gas to kill American defectors in Vietnam in 1970. CNN and Time retracted the story, apologized for it, fired 2 producers connected with it, and reprimanded Arnett. Still to come here on News Channel 8 at 5. Sometimes looking both ways before crossing the street just isn't enough. When we come back, we'll tell you which cities are the most dangerous for walkers.
For more than 60 years, the town of Groton has not had a permanent public beach. However, officials here and beach lovers have not given up hope. I'm Peter Standring. I'll have that story coming up.
Another pretty nice day, especially for the month of August here in Connecticut. But there are some showers that aren't too far away. Here's a look at our live storm Doppler radar around Sturbridge Village in Massachusetts and up near the Vermont border. I'll be back with the full forecast in just a couple of minutes.
Don't get shut out of a new car. Get guaranteed credit approval at Girard Mitsubishi. No credit? Approved. Bad credit? Approved. Bankruptcy? Approved. You're approved at Girard Mitsubishi. Drive a new Mirage for only $169 a month or own it with no money down from only $89.95. Hundreds in stock and ready to go. Drive a Galant for just $219 a month. You own it with no money down. It's simple at Girard Mitsubishi, New England's #1 Mitsubishi dealer. Girard Mitsubishi in Groton, Connecticut. Call collect today. We'll make it worth the drive.
Still to come.
An unborn baby is threatened by disease. How did local doctors successfully treat the baby before its birth? The story coming up on News Channel 8.
And do you think it's wrong that Monica Lewinsky's gotten an immunity deal, even though she's changed her story? 8 Interactive still to come.
Carpet today. Take up to 2 years to pay through Saturday at New York Carpet World. Hundreds of carpets, dozens of floors, and incredible savings. Plus, get up to 2 years interest-free financing on every carpet and floor in the store. Choose the carpet, Berber, plush, texture. Choose the floor, wood, laminate, vinyl, ceramic. Then take up to 2 years to pay interest-free. Interest-free. It's our best financing offer of the year. Save on carpet after carpet, floor after floor. Plus, buy it today. Take up to 2 years to pay through Saturday at New York Carpet World.
It's easy to erase a tough stain like grass. when your detergent has twice the cleaning power of this value brand. Era's got twice the detergent of this value brand, twice the power to erase tough stains. So imagine how clean Era can get your whole wash. Era, erase your stains.
Severe weather. It can strike at any time. That's why Storm Team 8 keeps you informed. 24 hours a day.
The heaviest rain
with weather reports.
in the southwest.
Storm Team 8 alerts. And now, Storm Doppler Live on our website. Updated every 90 seconds. For weather information the moment you need it. Turn to Storm Team 8, only on News Channel 8.
Details of Monica Lewinsky's testimony emerges as she faces the grand jury. And we'll have a check on your morning commute with our exclusive traffic cams, Friday, 5 a.m.
Better watch your step if you're taking a walk in Florida. 3 metropolitan areas in the Sunshine State have been deemed the most dangerous for pedestrians by a public interest group in Washington. The report says the problem is too many cars, not people walking. So here's the top 5 most dangerous cities in America for walkers: Orlando, Tampa, St. Pete, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Providence, Rhode Island, and Phoenix, Arizona. 60 years ago, the town of Groton's public beach was wiped out by a hurricane. Today, people who live there still don't have a permanent replacement for that once popular swimming area. However, they're not giving up hope either. News Channel 8's Peter Standring has more from our southeastern newsroom at the day.
Bluff Point State Park is a great place to ride your bike or to have a family picnic. But swimming here is another story.
There's rocks in the water, and you have to have shoes on your feet, and there is broken glass in the water, and he did cut his hand.
There is a better and safer place to swim here. In fact, 60 years ago, this is where Groton's public beach was located. That was before a hurricane wiped it out. Now it's 2 miles from the entrance, and no cars are allowed.
You'd have to have good walking shoes, and it's quite a hike from here. I mean, it would be nice if you could go up the old road or a path, but you know, they don't do that. You park here and you walk.
For years, town officials have been searching for a permanent replacement for this beach. And although it's been a rocky road, they haven't given up. Recently, a new steering committee was formed to examine Groton's future. And town planners suspect that the issue of trying to find a public beach will once again come to the surface. That's because a lot of people here are getting frustrated. There are several private beaches in town with restricted access. And although Esker Point Beach is open to anyone, it's certainly not much to rave about.
A lot of people come here to play volleyball, they bring their children at picnics, but not an awful lot of people go swimming.
And so there's growing support for creating a new public beach, one with real sand and real surf. Dee Pavone says that way she may see her kids more often.
I would love to have them here, but they don't come because we don't have a beach. I think it would be great. There's definitely a need for it.
Judging by all the seaweed, there is a need. But 60 years later, finding a better beach around here is going to be far easier said than done. In Groton, Peter Standring, News Channel 8.
Supporters of the new public beach idea in Groton say the town should work with the state and come up with a way to make it easier for people to get to the beach at Bluff Point. Here's a story for all the shoppers out there. At one Madison store, your shopping dollars actually go to a good cause. The Norwich Diocese Office of Haitian Ministries has opened a craft store in Madison. The shop is filled with crafts made by Haitian artists. Proceeds from the crafts, except what's needed to pay rent, are sent to Haiti.
Our artisans are paid up front, so that gives immediate employment to them so that they can feed their families, send their children to school. And then the profits we realize from these are spread out against all of our projects in Haiti.
Those projects include a mission house, a boys and girls orphanage, a medical clinic, a nutrition program, schools, and an ophthalmology clinic. Still to come here on News Channel 8 at 5, another Boston Globe columnist comes under fire. We'll have that story.
I'm Ned Berkowitz, and it may be tough to tell, but you're actually looking at a medical first, one that could help babies with tick-borne diseases. The story coming up.
Also coming up during our next half hour, the state gives the okay for 4 new charter schools. News Channel 8 Book Club checks out some great novels you might have missed. And we'll get a great meal at an even better price in tonight's Cheap Eats. Stay with us.
This weekend, the sale of the
century. Leather jackets, $39. Full-length leather, $89. Nike, Reebok, Fila, Adidas, more shoes, $19. Detachable face car stereos, $29. Car ends and kickers, $19. Bread makers, $49. 6x9 Oana rugs, $39. PlayStation CDs, $19. N64 games, $24.99. Stereos, computers, tires, luggage, purses, sunglasses, books, briefcases, tools, jewelry, perfume, clothing, and more. First time ever. Hartford Civic Center and New Haven Memorial Coliseum. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
When school's out, hunger doesn't take a vacation. The Summer Food Service Program provides free healthy meals for all children and teens through age 18. For a location near you or for more information about free summer meals for kids, call InfoLine at 1-800-203-1234 or call the Connecticut Association for Human Services at 860-951-2212.
On World News Tonight, what is the nation's space agency doing with a propeller-driven airplane? The amazing solar-powered Pathfinder. Today it goes for another record. Be there to see it on World News Tonight.
When a mysterious illness struck, she was ready to give up, but then a miracle happened.
At a time that I saw nothing in myself, there was somebody that saw things in me.
Stories of courage, next Saturday.
Friday at 4 on News Channel 8.
So cute, so playful. All he needs is you and...
Kibbles and Bits, puppy! I'm gonna get me some Kibbles and Bits, puppy.
New Kibbles and Bits Puppy has the taste preferred over Puppy Chow.
We're gonna get us some Kibbles and Bits, puppy!
Connect to News Channel 8 online for news, weather, sports, and features you won't get anywhere else. Get informed anytime, all the time. Visit our website at www.wtnh.com.
Floodwaters are receding in Marion, Indiana. They caught a break there today. Just a little rain fell. That's a stark contrast to yesterday when they got 7 inches in 7 hours. The torrential rainfall caused the river to spill over its bank, forcing people out of their homes.
Put them in there, try to
We had a little rain here yesterday, but not much of anything floating around today. At least I didn't see anything, Jeff.
No, there was a little bit of rain just up to the north of us in Massachusetts, Brian. But I was out on the beach today. I had to go to Lori, oh, pick up the camera.
Wait a minute. Lori, bring down that camera.
No, he wants you to bring down the camera, but don't do it. I was out on the beach today in Milford, Brian, and it was warm. Oh, go ahead, show them. It was warm. If you have children at home, you can take them away from the TV right now. It was warm, but it wasn't. By the way, this is the second pair of pants that comes with this suit. It was warm, but it was not oppressively humid, and so I thought I would take out our exclusive News Channel 8 stickyometer to show you where it's sticky today. So here it is for you, the stickyometer. This is actually dew point temperatures. They have to get up into the mid and upper 60s before it really starts feeling sticky. So you can see in the Northeast, dew point temperatures at low to middle 60s. That's not too bad. Washington, D.C., dew point is 58. That's really comfortable. Go down to Florida, the stickyometer goes all the way up with dew points in the low to mid 70s. Ditto for portions of Texas, including Houston. But Dallas, not too bad for them. I mean, we would find 68 a little bit hot under the collar, but not too bad for them. You've heard it's not the heat, it's the humidity out west. Well, in Las Vegas, the dew point is 58, so that's not so bad. 59 in Phoenix, 65 in Los Angeles. In fact, if you take a look at the whole country, you can see where the greens and blues are. The driest air is in the west, but so are the hottest temperatures. These are thermometer temperatures, 108 in Las Vegas right now, 107 in Phoenix, still in the mid and upper 80s over much of the Northeast, but again, not feeling all that bad because the dew points are not all that high. On the satellite image this afternoon, you can still see that big mass of cloudiness in the center of the country. It is moving very, very slowly in our direction. I do see a change in our weather, but it's probably not going to happen until the weekend is over. In fact, for tomorrow, look for that frontal system to stay in the midsection of the country, and most of the precipitation will stay with it, but it will get increasingly humid for the next few days. So here's our forecast. For tonight, partly cloudy, just a little bit sticky, and our overnight low temperature will be 68 on the shoreline and 63 inland with light winds. Then for tomorrow, clouds and sun, a little more humid, 80 to 85, southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's the extended forecast. As that front draws closer to us, a chance of a late-day scattered thunderstorm on Sunday, but more numerous thunderstorms Monday afternoon through early on Tuesday. And early on Tuesday, we'll see the temperatures go back down again. And there it is from the Well-Dressed Weather Center this afternoon, Brian.
Well, the half well-dressed.
Yeah, exactly. Well-dressed from the waist up. That's all that counts, right?
If you say so. Thanks, Jeff. For the latest on the road conditions out there right now, we're going to turn to Megan Dahl. She is standing by live with our live traffic cam. Megan?
Hey, good afternoon. Look at this, Brian. As you can see, it's just a crawl in Fairfield County, especially in Stamford. Both directions of the roadway. Southbound's backed up due to an earlier accident. Northbound's backed up just because. It's backed up from exit 8, northbound all the way out to Norwalk's exit 14. That's a good 7 miles. Again, you're going to see delay if you're traveling in through Bridgeport. And once again, moving in through New Haven County, it's pretty jammed up from West Haven all the way into East Haven. Your average speed is less than 25 miles per hour for almost 10 miles. And heading into downtown Hartford, your slowest commute, 84 east and westbound, moving in and through the city for more than 2 miles due to an earlier accident. I'm Megan Dahl for News Channel 8.
Thank you, Megan. Topping our 8-state update tonight, the Haitian immigrant who claims he was attacked by 5 Brooklyn police officers is getting some big-time legal help. Abner Louima is planning to hold a press conference this afternoon with his attorneys, Johnny Cochran, Barry Scheck, Peter Newfield, and Sanford Rubenstein. They plan to file a federal lawsuit against the city and sue for damages from police officers who were aware of the attack. 5 officers have already been indicted on federal civil rights charges in that attack. The Boston Globe is weighing its options in the controversy surrounding columnist Mike Barnicle. Barnicle is accused of using material from a book by comedian George Carlin without crediting his source. The Globe has asked Barnicle to resign. He has refused. The paper still hasn't decided whether or not they will fire Barnicle. A proposal to ban women from mowing their lawns topless has been shot down in Newport, Maine. The issue came to light after a resident complained that the mowing may become a public safety issue because passing motorists might get distracted. The town manager, though, says there's no law prohibiting a woman from going topless on her own property, and board members voted not to create such a law. Coming up next on News Channel 8, speeding along the information superhighway is often hard to do. When we return, we'll tell you how to make your connections faster.
The lack of rain is wreaking havoc on local crops. I'm Anna Saba with Consumer Team 8, and I'll have that story coming up.
Plus some problems for the Republicans. It appears one candidate hasn't come clean about his background. That story's coming up at 6.
Don't pay thousands just for a sofa. This sofa and love seat is only $13.99. It's the best construction known to man. 8-way hand-tied, sits like a dream, and has the newest slipcover look. Yes, it's white denim. And yes, it's only $13.99. But that doesn't matter. Be a decorator. Pick from over 300 fabrics. You name it, and it will not cost you any more. Give them what they want, and they will come.
I couldn't afford this anywhere else.
Drive 98 Corolla, $79 down or $79 a month. Choose from a giant inventory. Close out 98 at Colonial Toyota. Go for the dough. I put it in your pocket.
Within the imagination of a child, there are some things that have no place at all. Things like abuse, neglect, and despair. Every day, more than 1,000 innocent children are removed from their homes. These are victims, now who belong to no one. They sit silently waiting for the courts to decide their futures. They need your voice. Volunteer as a court-appointed special advocate and change one life at a time.
Today, 500,000 children are living in foster care. Not because they've done anything wrong, but because they've been abused and neglected. A lot of these kids get lost in the complexities of the court system, and they need your help. Volunteer to speak up for a child in court through child advocates. Thousands of kids are waiting to permanently join loving families. Your voice could be the one that brings them home.
Catch Noah Finn Sports, weeknights at 6 and 11 on News Channel 8.
Craig's goal was to play hockey, but coach said...
You can't get on the ice until you make full payment.
The case of the puck stops here.
I was benched. I mean, it was embarrassing. He's been a problem all along.
Next People Score.
Friday at 10 on News Channel 8.
Perhaps you haven't seen the kind of produce that you're used to seeing this time of year, and there's a reason for it. The summer drought is causing local farmers to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of crops. And that has us relying on outside sources for our fruits and vegetables. Consumer teammates Anna Saba here with that story. Anna?
That's right, Brian. Believe it or not, we are turning to imported fruits and vegetables. Tomatoes, peppers, and even fall crops like pumpkins are being devastated by our lack of rain. The local produce we can get our hands on right now is pricey despite all the hard work of local growers. Mother Nature is sentencing local farmers to extra hard labor. They're trying to water fields dying of thirst.
The droopness of the plants, as I pointed out, the little plant, the little squash on the plant is already dehydrated. This is a product that should be ready for market in about 6 to 8 days. This will not be ready for market. That's already dead.
Local tomatoes are at least 2 weeks behind schedule, and peppers just aren't up to size. These two summer money crops, as they're known, are down in yield by 50%. We had one of the driest Julys we've ever had, recording less than an inch of rain for the entire month of July, and no rain so far this August. In some cases, farmers have totally abandoned crops that they couldn't manage to irrigate themselves, and smaller farmers are reporting as high as 80% loss of their summer crops. These trucks should be leaving with bushels stacked 5 high. Now they're lucky to leave with 2.
Last year, I remember days we were picking 2,000, 2,500 boxes of squash on certain days during our peak. Our peak this year, we haven't shipped over 800 boxes for a day in this whole season.
Farmers are trying to pull water from ponds to aid the fields. Besides costing a lot of money, now those water reserves are stressed. All the extra work is barely helping farmers break even.
Besides getting a lower yield, now you're in a situation where it costs you more for that lower yield.
A situation the consumer will ultimately pay for when, or should we say if, this produce gets to market. Now, we're told there is no way to know for sure how much higher produce will be once it's all out there. Some guesses are 30% higher. The one thing that is for sure, there isn't a crop out there right now that's not being affected by our lack of rain. And in other consumer news, the government is looking to take the weight out of the internet connections. The FCC announced today incentives to get local phone companies ready for high-speed home data connection. Phone companies are trying to put an end to regulations that prevent internet hookups to 250 times faster than typical desktop modems. This is due to phone lines becoming increasingly jammed as internet use soars. And coming up in our next half hour, I guess you've got a lot going on.
Yes, we do. Thanks, Anna. And coming up in our next half hour, a first-time medical procedure saves a Ridgefield baby's life. We'll have the details. News Channel 8 continues after a short break.
When you start with any of our new Super Melts, you can finish with a Candy Shop Sundae with M&Ms for just 99 cents at Friendly's.
He's out of control.
Barbara, will you marry me?
Way out of control.
She put her arm around me, and then it went down a little low, and it made contact with a buttock.
You little liar.
Star, you're a lawyer. You'll help me out here.
Plus, John Bon Jovi sings his latest hit. Look Who's Talking on The View, ABC Daytime.
Still to come.
An unborn baby is threatened by disease. How did local doctors successfully treat the baby before its birth? The story coming up on News Channel 8.
And do you think it's wrong that Monica Lewinsky's gotten an immunity deal, even though she's changed her story? 8 Interactive still to come.
It's tennis on the edge of your seat. August 17th through the 23rd, the Pilot Penn International Men's Championships with pros like Sampras and Rafter. Then August 24th through the 29th, the Women's Championships, a USTA event with top players like Davenport and Sanchez Vicario. Tickets now on sale. Call 1-888-99-PILOT. The Pilot Penn International Tennis Tournament.
One hit
after another.
Every morning, New Jersey farmers bring you the naturally delicious taste of summer. It's fresher because it's delivered within hours of harvest. Discover the healthy, homegrown goodness of Jersey Fresh today at your favorite supermarket, fresh from the Garden State. Enjoy the very best.
Jersey Fresh and you, perfect together.
Good
morning, Mr. Phelps. This is Neil Santosio. He heads up one of the most elite Mazda sales forces ever. His right-hand man is Rick Barnes. Their headquarters, Richfield Mazda. Your mission, to find out how they're selling Mazdas at impossible-to-beat savings. Save over $6,000 on Mazda MPVs. Mazda 626 is now just $16,995. And save over $8,500 on Mazda Millennium. Or get 0.9% financing available on most models. These deals will self-destruct on August 31st. Good luck, Jim.
You're watching News Channel 8 at 5 with Ann Nyberg, Brian Burnell, and Jeff Fox with weather.
And I was hysterical because they didn't know how to treat it.
Doctors defy the odds and save the life of a baby girl threatened by a deadly illness. It's 5:30. It may be a medical first. Doctors at Danbury Hospital have successfully treated a baby who got a tick-borne illness from her mother. They weren't sure it would work because there were no documented cases of a treatment for this illness. News Channel 8's Ned Berkowitz is live in our New Haven newsroom with more. Ned?
Brian, the unique cases detailed in this week's prestigious New England Journal of Medicine. It was a real medical mystery, but one the doctors at Danbury Hospital were able to solve with a patient's help.
I thought she was going to die. It was horrible, and it was the worst thing I've ever been through.
Linda Jengo has gone through something no one else ever has. Last year, she gave birth to a baby infected with the tick-borne illness, Ehrlichia. People get the disease from deer ticks. It's very similar to Lyme disease, but is still so rare, Linda's doctors couldn't even believe she had it.
Most of the doctors had never heard of it at all, and my obstetrician called in a specialist, and the specialist was sure that was not what I had.
Linda caught the disease while pregnant, and about a week after delivery, her daughter Emma came down with a 104-degree fever. The baby's white blood cells were infested with the bacteria Ehrlichiosis.
Well, first of all, of course, we don't believe it because we say, what are the chances that something that was never described will fall here in our hands?
Despite the fact that no baby had ever had this disease before, doctors here at Danbury Hospital were absolutely sure of their diagnosis, enabling them to start treatment immediately, saving the baby's life.
Wait a minute, how did an infant, a neonate, get this disease? They're not exposed to ticks. The amount of symptomatology and the risk.
The doctors believed the disease entered the baby's blood through the placenta and treated her with antibiotics never used on a baby before.
And 24 hours after starting the antibiotic, looking like a new baby. She looked great.
Emma is now a healthy 10-month-old whose case could save lives in the future.
If a baby does get it or a child does get it, we at least know a treatment that works thanks to the doctors that work so hard on the case and diligently.
Doctors say the disease is still so rare, there is no reason to panic if your baby comes down with a high fever. But now that it's known that babies can catch this disease from their mothers, it's good to know that it's a possibility that should not be ignored. Brian, back to you.
All right, thank you, Ned. The State Board of Education has given the go-ahead for the creation of 4 more charter schools in Connecticut. The schools will be in Hartford, Fairfield, Newington, and Hamden. They're scheduled to open in September, and that will mean Connecticut will have a total of 16 charter schools. Charter schools have to provide records to the state, give students statewide achievement tests, but they do have more freedom to experiment with different classes and different curriculums. The countdown continues for a possible SNET strike. As of today, both sides still had not worked out an agreement. The current contract expires midnight Saturday. The rank and file have already given union leaders the power to call a strike if it becomes necessary. The big issue is salary. SNET workers say they make less than their counterparts in other states. In the meantime, state regulators have given the go-ahead for the merger between SNET and SBC Communications. Some rain has brought relief to the droughts in San Antonio and that part of Texas. At least 2 inches fell this morning. Other areas got even more rain. San Antonio was one of the hardest hit areas, though, for dry weather this summer. Today's temperatures were expected to be between 80 and 90 degrees, and that is a relief after nearly a month of 100-degree weather. A Philadelphia woman is charged tonight with murdering 8 of her 10 children. Police arrested 69-year-old Marie No and charged her with first-degree murder. She's accused of suffocating the children over a 19-year period. The first child died in 1949, the last in 1968. Prosecutors say No used a pillow or other soft object to smother the children. No says they died in their sleep. Authorities won't comment on a motive, although No had taken out insurance policies on some of those children. President Clinton is sending out a strong message concerning handguns. He's promised to keep the Brady Bill law going. The law is set to expire in November when a computerized system of background checks goes online nationwide. Under the Brady Bill, you have to wait 5 days before getting a handgun.
We have to continue to fight against crime and violence. We cannot retreat. Yet, as has already been noted, that is precisely what the gun lobby and its allies on Capitol Hill have asked us to do.
In the last 4 years, supporters say the law has prevented 250,000 felons, fugitives, and mentally ill people from buying handguns. Mr. Clinton says the waiting period prevents people from acting on violent impulses. Some good news concerning Social Security. House Speaker Newt Gingrich made a promise today that the Republicans will preserve the current system and they'll do it without raising taxes. Gingrich says the key to saving Social Security is to ensure the American economy stays strong. He also wants to make sure the federal government's budget surplus goes to keep the Social Security system intact. The United Nations Security Council is coming down hard on Iraq. They're calling for them to comply with UN resolutions or else. Dean Staley reports.
As he left today's meeting of the UN Security Council, U.S. Ambassador Bill Richardson said that Iraq's latest decision not to cooperate with weapons inspectors was totally unacceptable.
We, the United States, feel very strongly that Iraq is playing games, defying the international community, and making sure that sanctions last in perpetuity.
This latest disagreement between the UN and Iraq began on Monday, when Chief Weapons Inspector Richard Butler said he would not declare that all Iraqi weapons of mass destruction had been accounted for. On Wednesday, Iraq said it would no longer cooperate with the UN unless the weapons inspection team was restructured to lessen what Baghdad believes is unfair U.S. influence. After Butler returned to New York, Iraqi officials told UN weapons inspectors that they may only visit sites that have already been checked. In addition, surprise inspections have been banned. UN Secretary General Kofi Annan said he had spoken to Iraq's Deputy Prime Minister Tariq Aziz and suggested there may be room for progress.
The Iraqi position on this issue is not a closed one. They seem to have gained the view that whatever they do and all their efforts to comply, or what they call satisfactory compliance, has not been recognized by UNSCOM or the Security Council.
Dean Staley, ABC News, New York.
Some stories from around the world tonight. 26 people are hurt when a Korean Air jet skidded off the runway at Seoul's Kimpo Airport. The Boeing 747 was carrying over 350 passengers when it tried to land in bad weather. The pilot lost control and the plane skidded onto the grass, several of the wheels snapping off. That accident happened exactly a year after a Korean Boeing 747 crashed in Guam, killing 229 people. The death toll from China's flooding continues to rise. The Chinese government says more than 2,000 people have been killed in a long season of summer floods. Heavy rains have lifted the Yangtze River to its highest level since 1954. Officials are considering breaking open dikes along the river to protect areas downstream. And there is more to come on News Channel 8.
We've had some rain just to the north of us. Nothing's gotten into Connecticut so far. Here's a look at live storm Doppler radar. You can see the green over Mass. I'll be back with the forecast in just a few minutes.
And brand new at 6, a blast from the past. Boy George and Culture Club come to Connecticut.
Back by popular demand, the Nissan early model year-end clearance has been extended. Right now, with every new 98 Nissan in America, get an amazing $2,000 customer cash or 0% APR financing. That's on any Nissan, including the rugged and luxurious Pathfinder 4x4. With standard CD player and shift-on-the-fly four-wheel drive, it's the best-selling import SUV in the Northeast. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. For the best selection, visit a Nissan retailer today. This $2,000 or 0% APR offer absolutely ends August 31st.
Attention automobile owners. If you have auto insurance from State Farm, Allstate, Nationwide, Farmers, or any other major company, pay close attention to this message. Because you can get the same protection from Fireman's Fund Insurance Company and possibly cut your premium 10, 15, 20% or more. All it takes to find out how much you can save is a fast, free phone call. When you call, you'll discover Fireman's Fund can be your direct route to saving hundreds of dollars on auto insurance. So pick up the phone right now and call for your free no-obligation rate quote. Find out if you can save 10, 15, 20% or more. It'll take only a few minutes, and it's a smart thing to do, especially if you don't have money to burn.
Call Fireman's Fund at 1-888-820-0524 to see how much you can save. That's toll-free, 1-888-820-0524.
On the next Regis and Kathy Lee, look who's live.
I am the king!
Hey, I thought I was king. Move over, Reg. Oscar winner Nicolas Cage is at the top of his game in Snake Eyes.
Great new movie.
Then Chicago Hope's Adam Arkin is trading in his scrubs for some Halloween duds.
Nina Natty, Nina Natty. Oh, I'm scared.
And next week, Harrison Ford, Kevin Costner, and Michael Douglas.
It's been gorgeous.
Get it live.
Friday at 9 on News Channel 8.
Here's a story that may make you scratch your head a little bit and wonder. The makers of Lanacane, that's an anti-itch cream, say they have declared Elkins, West Virginia, the itchiest city in America during July. The company says the cities are all rated on things like sunburn potential, poison ivy growth, rainfall, and of course, the mosquito population. Who counts the mosquitoes? Tell me that. Tell me that. A lot of books around that have been around for a long time that many of us haven't read yet. Roxanne Cody joining us today to tell us which ones we should be reading. Is this spawned out of those 100 greatest books list? There were 2 lists that came out?
No.
I think one of these might be on it, but let's begin with Damage by Josephine Hart.
This is about obsession. It's about a guy high up in Parliament who has a torrid affair, and it's about the kind of downfall it causes, this kind of obsession.
Any particular reason why you might have chosen that? Well, let's move on.
It's a good read.
We may be going to a Monica Lewinsky press conference in a little while, too, by the way. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. This is a classic.
Absolutely. And people think of this in a very different way. It's not a horror story. It's Dr. Frankenstein who created this monster because he had delusions of grandeur, of what he could accomplish and all the destruction that it wrought. And it's really about our dreams and how they might go awry.
So you don't necessarily, if you don't like horror stories, this isn't necessarily something that's going to bother you?
Absolutely not. This is a psychological thriller. It is fabulous.
Okay. How about a Civil Action?
Civil Action has been on the bestseller list for a long time. It's about a trial that takes place. And again, these are kind of about tragedies. It is about water pollution in Woburn, Mass., which sounds like who wants to hear about it, but it's about people becoming obsessed with an objective, and you won't put it down.
Okay. It's a legal thriller then.
Legal thriller.
Okay.
Yep.
And finally, this one, I read the jacket on it, Time and Again by Jack Finney, and it looks fascinating.
This is a wonderful book. It takes place in contemporary New York and turn of the century. It's about a guy who goes back in time and falls in love.
Goes back in time.
Falls in love. Where does he want to be? The past?
Can't bring her back.
The present.
All right. You can find any and all of these books at R.J. Julia Booksellers or at your favorite local bookstore. Thank you, Roxanne.
You're welcome.
We are going to move along. Still ahead on News Channel 8 at 5. We'll show you a no-frills restaurant where the food is great and so are the prices.
And I'm Monica. What do you think about Monica Lewinsky's new video? We'll have your reaction coming up in 8 Interactive.
Whitney Center, located in suburban Hamden with a 19-year tradition in healthcare, provides inpatient and outpatient rehabilitation services, including physical, occupational, and speech therapies. When you choose Whitney Center for your therapy, evaluation and treatment can start as soon as you receive a referral from your physician. The Whitney Center staff of licensed professionals will individually tailor a therapy plan designed to meet your goals. Whitney Center Rehab Services is conveniently located on Leader Hill Drive in suburban Hamden.
If we build it, you'll come. We built it. You know, people sure are coming.
Harbor Yard, Bridgeport's new baseball stadium and home of the Bridgeport Bluefish. It's professional baseball, it's action, it's fun, and it's affordable for the entire family. Call for tickets 345-4800. Major League fun at minor league prices.
All aboard the Essex Steam Train and Riverboat in the beautiful Connecticut River Valley.
Essex Steam Train and Riverboat, yeah. This is the way family entertainment is done. A sightseeing adventure that's fun for everyone. Clickety-clack takes you back. Entertainment that's right on track. If you don't catch the train, you're missing the boat.
Don't miss Connecticut's favorite ride.
The S16 train river boat.
Details of Monica Lewinsky's testimony emerges as she faces the grand jury. And we'll have a check on your morning commute with our exclusive traffic cams, Friday, 5 a.m.
What you want is a great selection of cars at a great price. What you need is Ford's factory-authorized clearance. Going on now at your Tri-State Quality Ford store. Because doing Ford's factory-authorized clearance, you can get low, zero-down financing on Ford Taurus. Plus, get $750 cash back. What you want is style and performance. What you need is a Ford Taurus with low, zero-down financing and $750 cash back. And what you need is to hurry. Ford's factory-authorized clearance ends soon. Visit your Tri-State Quality Ford store today.
News Channel 8 weather brought to you by your Tri-State Quality Ford dealers.
Our weather has been sort of stuck in a not bad pattern. You know, I'm not complaining it's stuck in this kind of pattern. But it's interesting to look at the satellite map. I want to show you what's going on because everything is swirling around a low-pressure system right here in eastern Iowa. And even though the clouds are moving, the center of the system is staying in basically the same place. Now, if you're wondering why that happens and how we get favored in a situation like that, let me show you the jet stream. Because the jet stream is in an even more interesting situation. It dips all the way down into Texas. Down here in the bottom, in the trough here, is where you get storminess. But in the middle, there's what's called a cutoff low. This low-pressure system right here is removed from the force of the jet stream. So even though the jet stream can push storms along its path, it's not pushing anything that's right in the middle here. Since that storminess is right in the middle, it's basically staying right where it is, and we're not going to see a whole lot of movement from that system over the next few days. There have been some showers up to the north of us over the course of the afternoon, but I don't think any of them are going to make it to Connecticut. In fact, take a look with me at our live storm Doppler radar right now. We have a couple of showers right where I-84 comes out into Massachusetts, also in north-central Mass on the Connecticut River. But that's about it. They were stronger a couple of hours ago, and they are going to continue to die out as the night goes on. Back to the forecast maps to give you an idea of what's going to go on. Here's that system in the Midwest. It is going to stay there, basically stay in place. Warmer, more moist air is going to be rushing up toward Connecticut, so we'll have variable clouds again and a little bit more humid over the next couple of days, and even a small chance of a sprinkle from time to time. But any real precipitation, I mean en masse, you know, a big deal, is not going to happen until sometime probably Monday night into Tuesday. So right now it's going to be a summer-type weekend with warm and sticky temperatures, and I think very little, if any, rain. Right now it's 79 in Storrs at E.O. Smith High School, Glastonbury 85, 84 in Meriden, 81 in Madison, Orange at 84, 83 in Weston, Plymouth and Winston also at 83. These are SchoolNet stations. 76 on Fisher's Island. Here's the forecast. For tonight, we've got the partly cloudy and a little bit sticky, 68 on the coast, 63 inland, light winds. Then for tomorrow, look for clouds and sun and a little more humid than it's been, 80 to 85, southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's the extended forecast for you. Again, I put a chance of a scattered thunder shower in on Sunday, and then Monday night into Tuesday, a little bit more of a chance of widespread shower and thunderstorm activity with temperatures in the 80s. I'm laughing because everyone was just staring at me because I had no idea who I was going to toss it to, and now I know. At the big TV, here's Anna Saba. Hi, Anna.
Hi, Jeff. Thanks a lot. We can use the rain later on. For the latest on the road conditions right now, we're going to go to Megan Dahl, who's standing by with our live traffic cam. Megan, how's it going?
It looks like 14 miles of delay out here, Anna. If you're traveling northbound 95, it's jammed up now from just about the state line all the way out to exit 14. Southbound's breaking up a little bit, but still your average speed less than 30 miles per hour between exit 11 and exit 5. Traveling in through New Haven County, it's also very busy still. Northbound 95 moving in through West Haven, and it remains this way for almost 9 miles out to the approaches of the Lake Saltonstall Bridge. 91 southbound's also backing up. And in downtown Hartford, quite a bit of delay still on 84. It's been a parking lot all afternoon from exit 44 to the downtown tunnel. I'm Megan Dahl for News Channel 8.
Thank you, Megan. Do you think it's wrong for Monica Lewinsky to get immunity? Here's what you had to say.
I don't think any one of them should be hounded any longer on it. I think it's taken its course, and If we're all perfect, this world would be real boring to live in.
I support the president, and I think that this is all being created by some people who have, I think it's being blown out of proportion. I think there is something there, but I think it's being blown out of proportion by people who have other purposes in mind.
Basically, I think there's so many more serious problems that this country and the world has that I'm really not too preoccupied with Monica Lewinsky right now.
Oh, I'm so sick and tired of hearing this. I just think it's entirely ridiculous. This whole thing should not even gone this far. Should she have been granted immunity? Nah, I don't think so. I think she knew what she was doing.
And here's what our callers had to say.
Monica Lewinsky needs to get a job and get off her fat behind and leave the president alone while he's doing his job. Don't you have anything else better to do?
I think Monica Lewinsky should receive immunity. After all, she's testifying in a matter regarding the most powerful man in the world. That man, Mr. Clinton, has resources and executive privilege, etc., to protect him. This poor girl, who he took advantage of, is defenseless.
I do not feel that Monica Lewinsky deserves immunity for her testimony. She's as guilty as President Clinton, and it takes two, and she should have to suffer the consequences as much as he will.
And in the email, Jim Covington writes, from everything I've read, the only thing she would need immunity for is perjury concerning an alleged sexual relationship with the president. If she's guilty, then so is President Clinton. If I were Ken Starr, I'd probably do the same thing. Go for the real culprit. And Patty Rusi says, I believe this all started as a lie that snowballed and developed a life of its own. Nothing ever happened, but the lie was told, and then it had to be proven, and then it had to be true, so no one would be embarrassed because it never happened. She, Monica, lied, she's lying, and she will lie as long as anyone will listen. Well, we want to hear what's on your mind. Give News Channel 8 a call at 1-800-881-WTNH at 8 Elm Street, New Haven, Connecticut, 06510. You could also write us or send us an email at www.wtnh.com, and we may use your comments in our 8 Interactive segment. We also want to let you know that if you missed any of our E. coli special yesterday, you can check out the interviews and comments on our website. There is a link on our front page. And still ahead on News Channel 8 at 5, it's Cheap Eats time. We'll show you where to find great food at an even greater price. But first, let's go to Dennis to see what's coming up in sports.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Mets proved today you don't necessarily have to walk before you can get a run, but it helps. Of course, last night, the amazing Metropolitans got a triple play. Today, they didn't. So what? We'll see you later on in sports at 6.
At Hammonasset Ford Lincoln Mercury, our mission is simple.
We want you to buy a car here, your brother to buy a car here, your friends, your mother, and then we want you to come back and buy your second car here. We've earned more business from our good name and word of mouth than we have from any other type of advertising.
Hammonasset Ford Lincoln Mercury, where we have more explorers and mountaineers combined than any other dealer in Connecticut. Hammonasset Ford Lincoln Mercury, exit 59 off I-95, Route 1, Madison.
America loves American Steakhouse. America loves American Steakhouse.
It's Combo Mania, your choice of 2 delicious combinations for only $8.99. We've got ribs and chicken, ribs and shrimp, steak and ribs, all kinds of great combos for only $8.99.
Your favorite family steakhouse. America loves American Steakhouse.
Severe weather. It can strike at any time. That's why Storm Team 8 keeps you informed. 24 hours a day.
The heaviest rain
with weather reports.
in the southwest.
Storm Team 8 alerts. And now, Storm Doppler Live on our website. Updated every 90 seconds. For weather information the moment you need it, turn to Storm Team 8, only on News Channel 8.
Jeopardy's 15 biggest winners from the last year have gathered for the Tournament of Champions.
Competition is going to be fierce.
15 will compete, 1 will win. The Jeopardy $100,000 Tournament of Champions.
Tonight at 7 on News Channel 8.
Craig
next goal was to play hockey, but coach said...
You can't get on the ice until you make full payment.
The case of the puck stops here.
I was benched. I mean, it was embarrassing.
It's been a problem all along.
Next people score.
Friday at 10 on News Channel 8.
I'm a homicidal maniac.
Saturday night at 11:30 on News Channel 8.
This week, our travels through Connecticut in search of cheap eats brings us to the railroad. Our stop, Willington, where we highlight the Track 9 diner on Route 74.
Eat here or we'll both starve. With a sign like that, who wouldn't be curious enough to stop by the Track 9 diner? For the last 4 years, neither the owner nor his customers have been starving. The railroads are a part of American folklore, and that feeling comes alive at Track 9. The restaurant sits so close to the tracks that several times a day your meal is interrupted by the roar of a passing train.
They go by during the week probably about 5-6 times a day. During the weekend, it's a little less. But, you know, they come by to play shakes, and it's just a nice attraction.
But even if you're not a train buff, there's still something for you. Track 9 is a breakfast and lunch place that serves standard fare.
And we don't try to do a lot of fancy stuff. And just, you know, what I know people like. It's food that I like, so pretty much I hope other people like it.
We think you'll like the broccoli and chicken Alfredo. Served with garlic bread, this pasta dish certainly hit the spot. But if deli foods are more your speed, the Monte Cristo sandwich is a good choice too. And the prices won't put a big dent in your traveling budget. Most meals come in under $5.
Now, if you have a favorite restaurant with great food at even better prices, drop us a line. Let Consumer Team 8 know at 8 Elm Street, New Haven, Connecticut, 06510, or link to us via our website at www.WTNH.com. And now here's what's coming up at 6.
Our top story tonight, the search for a missing West Haven woman ends when police find a body in a popular park. We'll have a live report.
Republican Governor John Rowland's dream team ticket for November ends up being a bit of a nightmare, and a candidate is dumped. I'm Mark Davis. I'll have a live report coming up.
Plus, an anti-nuke protest at the Navy subbase in Groton ends with several arrests.
I'm Jane Saffer in Boston. A 6-year-old Haitian boy with severe burns is getting the medical attention he needs thanks to a Connecticut organization. I'll have this remarkable story coming up.
And songs that are making a comeback. We'll take you live to the Boy George concert.
News Channel 8 at 6 is next. Join us.
If they want more, give them more.
An extra firm full-size mattress.
More.
With 312 steel coils.
More.
Only $119, and you don't have to buy the set.
Find adventure at Catskill Game Farm. Adventure is in our nature. Talk to the animals and you'll see, just whisper in their ear. You'll be surprised just what they know. Ask any llama or deer. Buffaloes are in the know. They shout it loud and clear. You'll find adventure at Catskill Game Farm. Adventure is in our nature.
Time flies.
It started 50 years ago. The first television station in Connecticut. One of the first TV weather operations in America.
100,000 hours.
50 years of pioneering new technology. Recording events that changed our lives.
6 million minutes.
And today, 50 years later, committed to leading Connecticut into the future. News Channel 8, the television station for the next 50 years.
Jeopardy's 15 biggest winners from the last year have gathered for the Tournament of Champions.
Competition is going to be fierce.
15 will compete, 1 will win. The Jeopardy $100,000 Tournament of Champions.
Tonight at 7 on News Channel 8.
From Snake Eyes Oscar winner Nicolas Cage.
I am the king!
Plus Adam Arkin. Get it live.
Friday at 9 on News Channel 8.
Details of Monica Lewinsky's testimony emerges as she faces the grand jury. And we'll have a check on your morning commute with our exclusive traffic cams. Friday, 5 a.m.
Experience an exotic week of fun and excitement on Wheels Escape to Puerto Rico.
Oh, they look ready to play.
It's a non-stop fiesta all week. Catch all the action on Wheel of Fortune's Escape to Puerto Rico.
Tonight at 7:30 on News Channel 8. Live, this is News Channel 8 at 6 with Ann Nyberg, Brian Burnell, Noah Finn Sports, and Jeff Fox with weather.
They are devastated. Right now at this time, I think they just want to be left alone.
Grief and disbelief as friends and family wonder if a West Haven woman took a fatal fall in a popular park. Good evening, I'm Anna Sava in for Ann Nyberg. The worst fears for the family of Denise Simmons may be coming true tonight.
Police are virtually certain that the body they found this morning in East Rock Park is that of the 26-year-old Simmons. They say now that she may very well have fallen to her death. The Yale researcher had a bright future. She was about to leave for graduate school in Berkeley. News Channel 8's Wendy Cicchetti is live with tonight's top story. Wendy?
Brian, investigators have not positively identified the body, but they say they have a strong suspicion that it is Denise Simmons. Now, the body was found just a couple of 100 feet from here. The last time Simmons was seen alive was up there on the edge of East Rock.
Bill, you got another pair of gloves around?
The search for Denise Simmons came to a tragic end today. The 26-year-old's missing poster remained on her parents' door as they received word.
They are devastated. Right now at this time, I think they just want to be left alone.
There's this ledge, too.
Acting on a tip, police located a body believed to be Simmons at the base of East Rock.
He was able to pinpoint exactly where he had seen her. From then, we followed the path down.
A jogger told police he saw Simmons sitting on these rocks around dusk on Monday night. He says he said hello and kept jogging. When he returned several minutes later, he says she was gone. Investigators don't know at this point exactly what caused Simmons to fall 175 feet to her death.
As of right now, there is no evidence of foul play. As I say, it could be an accident, again, pending further investigation.
Rescue crews scaled the ledge, tracing the path of Simmons' fall.
It was a support for the police department to help them find some physical evidence or support their investigation.
Simmons was off to graduate school in California. She was supposed to leave for Berkeley yesterday. Her parents last saw her on Monday when she told them she was going out for a while. Simmons' car was found at the summit. Exactly what happened to this promising young woman may never be known.
There have been incidents where people have fallen or have been stuck climbing the rocks, and we've had to rescue them.
Have there been deaths, as far as you know?
Not that I can recall.
Now, an autopsy is scheduled for tomorrow on the body. At that time, police hope to positively identify it as Denise Simmons. Brian?
Wendy, have they found any kind of evidence up there?
Well, they did find a couple of items that they put into a plastic bag along the wooded area here. Up on the top, apparently, on the rock where they believe Denise was last sitting, they did find a couple of cigarette butts. According to that jogger that claims to have seen her, he said she was smoking at the time when he passed by. They, again, believe that those cigarettes did belong to her. Brian?
It's just too bad. All right, thank you, Wendy.
It's Monica's moment as the former White House intern tells her story to the grand jury investigating the scandal at 1600. Security was tight as Lewinsky left the federal courthouse in Washington about an hour ago. In exchange for her testimony, Lewinsky has been given immunity. Sources say she's expected to confirm that she and President Clinton had a sexual relationship and that she and Mr. Clinton talked about ways to hide it. Stay tuned for World News Tonight at 6:30 for complete coverage of today's testimony, and we should add that a spokesperson has come out to say that they will be talking about what Monica Lewinsky had to say earlier today. A mini scandal for Connecticut Republican results in a candidate being dumped from the ticket. A member of Governor Rowland's handpicked team to run in the fall election appears to have misled the party about his background and is about to withdraw from the race. 58-year-old Antonio Serbia of Stamford, the governor's choice to run for state comptroller, failed to tell top Republicans about some troubles in his past and reportedly faked part of his resume. Chief political correspondent Mark Davis has our story.
When Serbia accepted the unanimous endorsement of the Republican State Party convention last month, he was cheered because he became the first Puerto Rican-born American to ever run for statewide office. He was part of Governor John Rowland's ethnically and racially diverse dream team. But sources say Serbia declined to tell Republican leaders that he was indicted for bank fraud in Puerto Rico in the 1980s. He now says that since he was found innocent, he didn't think it was important. He did tell top Republicans about his federal tax delinquency problems, but since it was associated with a messy divorce case, they didn't think that was important. But the reports now that he fudged college degrees on his resume have got Republican leaders fuming. State Republican Party Chairman Chris Tapino is meeting with Serbia at this hour, and reliable sources tell News Channel 8 they have worked out Serbia's resignation from the ticket. With Serbia dumped, the apparatus is all set up to replace him. One of the routine things political conventions do is appoint a candidate replacement committee made up of 7 people. If a candidate dies or drops out, this committee selects a new candidate. Sources say there are at least 2 replacements ready to be approached to take Serbia's spot on the ticket, and the committee will act now. Democrat Nancy Wyman is the incumbent state controller and is running for re-election. She said today that Serbia's troubles would not change her campaign plans in any way. Now, Serbia and Republican Party Chairman Chris Tapino will have a news conference within the next half hour, sometime between 6:30 and 6:45 at Republican State Party headquarters, just a block away from here at the state capitol. And he will, that is, Serbia will officially withdraw from the race, and that function of the special committee, ANA, will go into place and will start the procedure of selecting another candidate to take his place. And Democratic gubernatorial candidate Barbara Kennelly has been heard on this. She issued a statement today saying, quote, "In his haste to score political points, John Rowland failed to put the state's best interest first." But sources within the Rowland campaign tell us they feel that this is just a bump on the campaign trail and by election day will be forgotten by many voters. Anna, back to you.
Okay, Mark, we'll have more on this at 11?
Absolutely.
Okay, see you then.
For the second time this week, peace and justice activists are targeting southeastern Connecticut for their protests. Just days after trying to get into the electric boat shipyard in Groton, self-appointed weapons inspectors are at it again today, this time over the Navy's sub-base. News Channel 8's Peter Standring has more from our southeastern newsroom at the day.
Calling all the weapons inspectors.
They call themselves citizen weapons inspectors. They believe they have a right and an obligation to enter the Navy's sub-base and check up on its arsenal of weapons.
We believe that nuclear weapons are not legal and that the deployment and use of weapons is not legal. Therefore, we want to hold the government accountable.
These peace activists also say that according to international law, the United States must dismantle its nuclear weapons. So, in their view, that means the submarines here have to go.
These are mass destruction weapons we're taking all over the world to threaten countries to do our bidding.
This group planned its protest for today for 2 big reasons. Today is the 53rd anniversary of the bombing of Hiroshima. It's also the 8th anniversary of economic sanctions being placed on Iraq. Considering America's array of mighty weapons, they say it's wrong to punish Iraq for trying to develop weapons of its own, and they insist it's time for the sanctions to be lifted.
Because it does nothing to Saddam. It does nothing for those who are in power. The children are the ones suffering.
In the end, the citizen inspectors were met on the way in by base security guards, and most were turned back. Some who refused to go were physically stopped and arrested.
One lives in hope that someday they will see the wisdom of disarmament and nonviolence, but I don't think it's going to come today.
Still, they left with a sense of accomplishment.
So we have to do what we have to do, and somebody has to stand up and say, enough is enough.
Now, in all, 10 protesters were arrested and they were issued federal citations and will have to appear in court. Officials over at the sub-base say while they recognize people's rights to assemble and to protest, they say they can't very well allow folks to trespass. Brian, back to you.
All right, thank you, Peter.
It's a medical first in Danbury. The New England Journal of Medicine has published the case of a mother who passed a tick-borne illness to her baby. Doctors at Danbury Hospital diagnosed newborn Emma Django with the disease Ehrlichia, which is similar to Lyme disease. The baby was also the first newborn to be treated with antibiotics, usually used on adults.
Our feeling is, though, that based on what we investigated, the treatment was appropriate and no side effects will be observed in the future.
Doctors believe the disease was passed to the baby through the mother's placenta. Emma is now a healthy 10-month-old baby.
Other stories we're following tonight here on News Channel 8.
Against the odds, a Connecticut charity makes a true story of survival come true for a little boy from Haiti.
And back to the 80s, Boy George and Culture Club come to Connecticut. We'll be right back.
After today, take up to 2 years to pay through Saturday at New York Carpet World. Hundreds of carpets, dozens of floors, and incredible savings. Plus, get up to 2 years interest-free financing on every carpet and floor in the store. Choose the carpet, Berber, plush, texture. Choose the floor, wood, laminate, vinyl, ceramic. Then take up to 2 years to pay interest-free. Interest-free. It's our best financing offer of the year. Save on carpet after carpet, floor after floor. Plus, buy it today, take up to 2 years to pay through Saturday at New York Carpet World.
Nobody can save you more than we can.
Drive 98 Tacoma, $79 down or $79 a month. Choose from a giant inventory. Close out 98 at Colonial Toyota. Go for the dough. I put it in your pocket.
Say goodbye to water problems. Call Connecticut's well water specialists, Greco and Haynes. Day or night, 7 days a week, Greco and Haynes will service any water system, and there's never an overtime charge. If you're building a home, need a re-drill or fracking, the professionals at Greco and Haynes will coordinate the process, customize and install your complete water system. Make sure your well and water system are safe and efficient. Call Greco and Haynes. Water is their only business.
The Better Sleep Council has found
sleep is just as important as nutrition and exercise for good health. A better night's sleep can contribute to lowering stress levels. So in essence, a better mattress can lower stress.
A top-quality name-brand mattress from Better Bedding will help.
At our Sealy Any Size One Low Price Sale, we'll give your budget some help. Buy any size Sealy mattress set and pay the same low price each piece.
Remember, the key to a good night's sleep is a good quality brand name mattress.
Hurry into Better Bedding today.
Going the extra distance to help a Haitian boy who has severe burns. With a helping hand from people in Connecticut, a 6-year-old boy from Haiti is on the road to recovery tonight.
Michel Saint-Jean was badly burned in January. He lives in a small village in the poorest country in the world. But thanks to a Connecticut organization, he's getting the state-of-the-art treatment he needs to survive. We want to warn you, there is a picture that may be difficult to look at. News Channel 8's Jane Saffer reports.
I'm gonna let him go by me.
It is a life-saving trip for 6-year-old Michel Saint-Jean. He traveled more than 2,000 miles from his home in Jeremy, Haiti, to get some desperately needed medical attention.
You know, there are times in life when you have to start saying, it's time to give back a little bit.
For Dr. Jeremiah Lowney of Norwich, that time is now. He first saw Michel back in June while on a mission to Haiti with the Haitian Health Foundation. He was malnourished and 25% of the boy's body was burned. His right hand was amputated. This picture shows what he looked like after a kerosene lamp fell on Michel as he slept in his grass hut. His neck became fused to his chest.
I think he was probably the worst I've seen. And my son said, you know, if we don't get him back to the States, he's going to die.
Realizing that, Dr. Lowney arranged for Michel's treatment at the Shriners Burns Hospital in Boston. The Guilford Rotary Club paid for the boy's trip.
Say hello.
His wounds don't hurt because they're grafted now, and he trusts everybody, and he knows everybody likes him.
I feel very well.
Michel already had one surgery and is doing well. He's also charmed every nurse on his floor.
He just is wonderful. He really is. You forget that he's sick or that he's hurt. You know, he really, his personality just shines all day.
Michel will likely be back here at Shriners Hospital for years to come. His skin grafts will grow as he does, so he'll need more surgeries to make sure he's got full range of motion. Michel continues to get stronger every day, getting the kind of nourishment not available in his poor village. But that's not what he likes the most.
I like cars, and I like the toys. The cars, the types that make a lot of noise.
Meantime, his fight for survival has touched many people.
$5 bill from a woman in Salem, Massachusetts.
But some great sage one time said, if you save one, you save the world.
Now, Michel will be in the U.S. for at least 4 more months, and during that time, he'll undergo several more surgeries. In the meantime, Dr. Lowney says he hopes to be able to raise the money in order to provide him with an artificial hand, and he wants to be able to build his family a new home back in Haiti. Anna, back to you.
All right, Jane, thanks a lot.
That is such a terrific story.
You forget how brave little kids are.
I know. I mean,
much braver than adults sometimes.
Gone through so much in there. He is playing with toys and giving hugs and saying he feels good.
That's right.
It's incredible.
That's right. Okay, well, it seems we're on a sunny streak in the weather department.
Weekend's looking good as well. The complete forecast from Jeff Fox and Storm Team 8 coming up.
And I'm Tom Lewis, live in Wallingford at Oakdale. Behind me is the stage where an 80s music icon will take the stage. If you know who sang I'll Tumble For Ya, you know who I'm talking about. We'll have a live report later on in this half hour.
I'll tumble for ya.
Carpet today. Take up to 2 years to pay through Saturday at New York Carpet World. Hundreds of carpets, dozens of floors, and incredible savings. Plus, get up to 2 years interest-free financing on every carpet and floor in the store. Choose the carpet, Berber, plush, texture. Choose the floor, wood, laminate, vinyl, ceramic. Then take up to 2 years to pay interest-free. Interest-free. It's our best financing offer of the year. Save on carpet after carpet, floor after floor. Plus, buy it today. Take up to 2 years to pay through Saturday at New York Carpet World.
This weekend, the sale of the century. VCR 69, Seiko and Citizen watches 39, bread makers 49, leather jackets 39, cycle jackets 69, satellite dishes 89, toasters, juicers, mixers, thousands of small appliances $5, Pentium computers with monitor $4.99, software $5. Even Sears Auto Center, Sears best prices of the year on tires, batteries, and front end alignments. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 2 locations: Hartford Civic Center and the New Haven Memorial Coliseum.
What you want is a great selection of America's best-selling cars. What you need is Ford's factory-authorized clearance. Going on now at your Tri-State Quality Ford store. Because during Ford's factory-authorized clearance, you can get low, zero non-financing or $1,000 cash back on Ford Escort and Contour. What you want is the best car. What you need is low, zero non-financing or $1,000 cash back. And what you need is to hurry. Ford's factory-authorized clearance ends soon. Visit your Tri-State Quality Ford store now.
News Channel 8 weather brought to you by your Tri-State Quality Ford dealers.
Let's take a look at the Thursday commute home. We turn to our News Channel 8 exclusive live traffic cam. This is the view in Stamford, exits 8 and 9. A little busy southbound, a little busy northbound, but not too bad, especially compared to what it was.
I know, it looks tight everywhere. Moving into West Haven now, this is exits 41 and 42. Still slow and probably getting slower as the time goes on.
And where do you go when you want traffic? The Q Bridge in New Haven, ladies and gentlemen. The northbound side of 95 near exit 49, moving along a little slow right now.
You know, I'm glad you guys just showed the traffic cams because we have the Jeff Fox traffic cam coming up in just a second. I was in Milford today. We're doing a special on Long Island Sound that will air September 8th. And while we were there, we were in Milford. And as I was coming back, I stopped our photographer, George Rolofson, and had him shoot this. Please look carefully at the monitor. What is your first impression when you see these signs? Now, this is not made up. This is really the way it exists in Milford. Will someone explain to me what has gotten into the water there?
Schizophrenic Department of Public Works guy?
I guess somebody's a little slow.
I guess so, but one way and two way on the same sign.
Covering your bases.
I guess, but it seems to make sense there. We saw no accidents during it actually, when you think about it for about an hour or two, it then slowly makes sense. But if you're coming up to it in a car, it makes no sense at all. I wanted to show you dew points this afternoon. Normally in August, we see dew points that get way up into the 60s. Now, Boston is in the upper 60s, and it's a little bit sticky there, but you come down to New York City and Washington, D.C., 58 and 60 for the dew point. That's really serviceable. That's quite comfortable. The kind of August dew points we normally get, upper 60s, low 70s, you find those in Florida. Miami now up to a dew point of 75, so really sticky. 72 in Orlando. It's also somewhat sticky in portions of Texas and Louisiana. It's New Orleans at 73, 70 at Houston. Dallas and Oklahoma City now a little bit drier than they were earlier in the week. And if you really want the dry air, you have to come out west. Las Vegas with a dew point of 58, which they in Las Vegas will tell you is oppressively humid, but we would love that. 58 in Las Vegas, dew point 58 now in Phoenix. The big weather mover is in the center of the country. Watch how all the clouds move from the south to the north in front of this system. This is going to start bringing moist air into Connecticut, so look for the dew points, the relative humidity, the stickiness to rise here in Connecticut. And also, look how in front of the system there are some widely scattered showers. I think most of them are going to stay away from us, but as this finally gets here, and it's going to take at least till the end of the weekend, we're going to have a fairly decent chance of showers and thunderstorms. Here's a look at our SchoolNet stations now, everybody around the 80-degree mark, and the forecast goes like this. For tonight, partly cloudy, a little bit sticky. 68 on the coast, 63 inland, light winds. Then for tomorrow, it's going to be a combination of clouds and sun, a little more humid than today, 80 to 85. Southeast winds 5 to 10. Starting Sunday, I'm going to put in a little chance of a thunder shower, and then more widespread thunderstorm activity Monday and Tuesday early, with temperatures then dropping down in the low 80s on Tuesday as that front goes through. But our string of dry weather continues just a little while longer. That's the weather. Anna and Brian, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. It's a trip back to the 80s that may give you a culture shock.
That's because Boy George and Culture Club are in Connecticut tonight at the Oakdale. Tom Lewis is there. Tom, it says taking it by storm. I can't picture Boy George taking anything by storm, frankly.
Well, he does have his own style, that's for sure. Of course, all of us who grew up on 80s music recognize Culture Club and Boy George. Not only are they performing tonight, but also Human League, Don't You Want Me Baby, remember that song? And also Howard Jones is going to be here. So those three acts from the 80s are going to take the stage right behind me around 7:30 if you want to come down here to Oakdale and enjoy the show. Now, of course, Boy George had a look all his own, and I tried so hard to capture that, and I think you'll know what I mean if you take a look at this.
This is Herman from the Costume Bazaar. Hi, Herman. How are you?
How are you?
Nice to meet you. Listen, I need the Boy George look. You know Boy George from the 80s?
Yes, I do. Very well.
I need that look. Dude, that's what we're going for. We have some elements here now, and we just want to make sure that we get the correct Boy George 80s look. So, what do you think? Is this what he had? I don't know if this was... Just help me out when you can. I need to be able to at least have some vision. So, yeah. I mean, let me know if I'm coming close or not, or if I'm just looking like a benign idiot.
And we need a little white makeup here.
Make me pasty because Boy George was pasty by nature. He had that gaunt look that is so chic now. Do you think people at this point might confuse me for Boy George if I walk outside? Do you think it's that close yet?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I really think you're him.
Yeah.
I think if you showed up at the Oakdale right now, you'd have lines and herds of guys chasing after you.
Not exactly the vision I was looking at, but nonetheless, quite a stimulating thought. Can I apologize to my family first for this?
No.
You remember Boy George? I mean,
Yeah.
is this?
This is Boy George.
He had the string of pearls going?
He had all kinds of jewelry.
Did he look as sickly as I look right now? I look like I've got pneumonia.
He looked more sickly.
He looked more sickly than this? Because you shared a dressing room with him.
He was white.
Now, when you were in his dressing room, was he white all over? Pasty white all over?
Pasty white from here to here.
And then from there on, he had a nice tan.
Right.
That's a strange thing.
All right, indeed a strange thing there. But Boy George still captures the fancy of a lot of folks who are coming out here to Oakdale to see the show, of course, with Human League and with Howard Jones. Now, also announced just an hour ago, Hanson, those three kids with the long hair, they're going to be giving a concert tomorrow. Tickets go on sale at Ticketmaster.com, and that will be at the Hartford Civic Center. Let's go back inside now to those 80s music fans, Anna and Brian.
Does that mean you'll be dressing up as Hanson tomorrow?
Well, I have to wait for my hair to grow.
And you got to get younger, pal. I got news for you.
Okay.
Thanks, Tom. Well, sports is straight ahead. Some not so big changes in the Big East today.
And a big win for the Mets as they walked by the Giants at Shea. Dennis has the highlights when we come back.
Your life that keeps on changing, you're furnishing your home.
For quality, for great design,
for styles to call your home.
Seaman Furniture's guaranteed low prices are being reduced throughout the showroom. Plus, there's no down payment, no payments, and no interest till next year. And we deliver from warehouse to your house in just 1 week. You can't find a better value than Seaman's Furniture.
a sensible way to a beautiful home. See Siemens first.
In the next 24 hours, Connecticut businesses will manufacture and distribute 2.7 million products, make 120 deliveries, satisfy 1.5 million appetites, and brighten 4,000 lives. How will they get the energy? The way they always have. Connecticut Light and Power. The energy of Connecticut.
Do you feel passionately about the car you drive and your car dealer? If not, step up to a brand that stirs your passion for performance, style, and value. BMW has it all. Then find a dealer that exceeds your expectations from day one. Morrow Motors. From our competitive, aggressive pricing to extended service hours, evenings and weekends, free loaner cars, and 4 service riders for quick processing. Morrow Motors BMW. Quality care that exceeds your expectations.
The critics are calling The Negotiator thrilling, exciting entertainment. Roger Ebert says it's one of the year's most skillful thrillers. 4 stars. Don't miss it. Samuel L. Jackson, Kevin Spacey, The Negotiator. Rated R. Negotiations have begun.
On the next Regis and Kathy Lee, Look Who's Live.
I am the king!
Hey, I thought I was king. Move over, Reg. Oscar winner Nicolas Cage is at the top of his game in Snake Eyes.
Great new movie.
Then Chicago Hope's Adam Arkin is trading in his scrubs for some Halloween duds.
Nina Nanny, Nina Nanny. Oh, I'm scared.
And next week, Harrison Ford, Kevin Costner, and Michael Douglas.
They're gorgeous.
Get it live.
Friday at 9 on News Channel 8.
And coming up tonight at 11, we'll hear from Governor Rowland's nominee for comptroller, who's apparently quitting under a cloud of scandal.
Speaking of scandal, against the Mets today, the Giants rang up 6 runs on 7 hits. Excuse me, that was just the 8th inning. But while the Giants were racking up runs, the Mets would win in a walk. Again, homers from Edgardo Alfonso, Brian McRae, Tony Phillips, and John Olerud helped the Amazons to a 6-2 lead through 7 innings. But the Mets bullpen then got involved in the 8th. Jeff Kent, a 3-run homer off Dennis Cook. Later, it was Charlie Hayes. He steps up. That's a 3-run jack off Greg McMichael. And the Giants had an 8-6 lead. The Amazons, though, rallied for 1 in the 8th, then tied it in the 9th before Giants reliever Jose Mesa walks Louis Lopez with the bases full, forcing in the gamer for the 2nd time in the series, 9-8 the final. In Oakland last night, A's knuckleballer Tom Candiotti handcuffed the Yankees. Tino Martinez's solo homer in the 5th, one of just 4 hits off the Candyman, and the only run, by the way. Hideki Irabu, meanwhile, threw a 2-hitter for the Yanks, but one of them was this bomb from Ricky Henderson to make it 3-1 A's in the 8th, and that was the final, as Oakland denied the Stripes a 4-game sweep. Now, there will be a new look to the Big East basketball standings next season. The conference has eliminated the 2 divisions and is going back to just a 13-team league format. It's exciting. Meanwhile, NBA labor talks came to a quick halt in New York today. Less than 2 hours in, Commissioner David Stern and several owners walked out after hearing the players' latest proposal. It must have been a doozy. The senior British Open continues to haunt Tony Jacklin. 4 years ago, he was disqualified after signing an incorrect scorecard. Today, he was penalized 2 strokes for hitting the wrong ball. He's on a roll. Jacklin wound up with a 4 over 76, while this guy, England's Jim Rhodes, came in at 4 under 68 to take the first-round lead. David Jones stumbled to a 69 after giving back 3 strokes over the final 3 holes. And finally, the Jets. That's right. They open their preseason exhibition schedule tonight as they visit the Eagles in Philadelphia. For New York quarterback Glenn Foley, the goal is to hold off an injury for a change and hold on to his starting job.
You know, I'm rooting for Foley, obviously, now. He's feisty. You know, he's got a little cowboy in him. I'm just going to, you know, we're just going to try to get him to understand how he must perform to give the team the best chance to win.
I would think you'd have to perform well. To give him the best chance to win. Just a guess. I'm not a coach, but that would be my guess.
Hit the wrong ball. Forgot he was playing the top flight X out?
I think he's just going to wipe that tournament off his schedule.
I think he might want to do that.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Have a good evening.
Good night.
Have you been thinking about a change? Nothing dramatic, just something different. A little color, perhaps. Go a little shorter. Maybe highlights? Or add some layers. Call the salon today and let our stylist help you find the look that's just right for you. Sometimes a little difference can make a big difference. Paul & Company. Isn't it time for a change?
What is it about leather? You need beautiful lines to pull it off. Meet the limited edition Mazda 626. Now in leather. Luxuriously loaded with 0.9% financing or $2,000 cash back. It's time to get into leather. Get a Mazda 626 Leather Edition with 0.9% financing or $2,000 cash back.
Find adventure at Catskill Game Farm. Adventure is in our nature.
Talk to the animals and you'll see, just whisper in their ear. You'll be surprised just what they know. Ask any llama or deer. Buffaloes are in the know. They shout it loud and clear.
You'll find adventure at Catskill Game Farm. Adventure is in our nature.
On World News Tonight, what is the nation's space agency doing with a propeller-driven airplane? The amazing solar-powered Pathfinder. Today it goes for another record. Be there to see it on World News Tonight.
Jeopardy's 15 biggest winners from the last year have gathered for the Tournament of Champions.
Competition is going to be fierce.
15 will compete, one will win. The Jeopardy $100,000 Tournament of Champions.
Tonight at 7 on News Channel 8. Celebrating 50 years of service to Connecticut. News Channel 8.
On World News Tonight this Thursday, the crucial testimony has been